Wherever you roam, it's time to admit that the water around you has rose. Wait, I don't know. I forget how that song goes, but I wanted to change it to something about aquariums and changing water. Admit that your water has needed a change. Tomorrow you'll be broke, and I'll be the same. For fish are rapidly getting more expensive. Yes, they are. And where we get fish is changing. So, welcome, come on in. We're doing this stream this way tonight. You know, I wasn't sure if I was gonna do a stream at all tonight. Honestly, I'm not feeling super good. I'm gimpy. I'm gimpy and lame. And I've got my leg all wrapped up. Let's see if I guess I could just. This is easier than lifting my leg. My leg is all wrapped up all the way up to here, and the ankle, the whole thing is like in a soft cast, but I can't move my foot or anything. And there's just a sandal on it to keep it from being whatever. You get the picture. But uh, I have a little bit of a story that I want to share before we get into fish stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed the first part of the fish. I think are super duper popular to be breeding right now. I think that the list this year, if I do say so myself, I think it's more in depth. The details. I tried to include some fun facts, some more species profiles, and do it by genus rather than just random scatter like this species. Here's another species. Here's another random species. And part two will be the autocinclus, the farowellas, the corridoras, the loaches, the hillstream loaches and Borneo loaches, possibly rasboras. I think I'm gonna keep like the larger fish out of it, but I mean there are some like pike cichlids and some of the other cichlids that I think would be great too. But we'll wait on that. How's it going, everybody? OC Urban Gardener, good to see you. Linda Worth, always good to see you. Cassandra, what's up? Good to see you. Howdy. Coro says, hit that like button. I would so appreciate that if you did hit that like button. If you hit it like, uh, you know, I don't want to say anything offensive, but redheaded stepchild. So, let's see here. Sorry, all you redheaded stepchildren. Bambi, what's going on? Silent Mandible. There's that name. That interesting name, buddy. Says, hey there, Alex. I got my fur. Whoa, chat's been jumping. Got my first high quality aquarium and essentially my first personal aquarium as an adult. Right on. Congrats. That'll be super fun, I hope. Got it set up with water to make sure it doesn't leak. Right on. Well, that will be a process. It will be a journey. You'll probably be super happy. You'll probably be a little frustrated at times, but just keep at it. Yeah. Claire H, what's up? Fishberg, what's up? I'm drinking Bulldog root beer tonight instead of the Dr. Pepper. You know, I usually drink the other one, but yeah. Also, Coro's putting codes down below. He's speaking in codes. He's speaking in mystery, boop, bop, beep, bop, 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 computer language that will save you money if you want to go to any of the affiliate links. And boy, does that help the channel. I get something like, depending on where it is, up to 5%. Some cases, like there's another one that's only 2%. But all of it counts and all of it helps. And it goes towards a lot of the fish that then I get to show you guys, or plants and things like credit that I can order and be like, look at this. And then at the same time, it's advertising their stuff. I get stuff. You get to see stuff. Hopefully, it's working for everybody a little bit. Um, yeah, autosynclus almost always wild caught. Yeah, that is true. They are very abundant. There are a lot of autosynclus all over the Amazon basin. Super easy to catch. They catch them literally by the thousands in a few hours. I'm not 100% sure on all the methods they use, but I know that I have seen footage from women in particular, the Piaberos, working in like dugout canoes, and they have like plastic Tupperware tubs that are like, party punch bowl size, and then like a colander, and they'll literally be grabbing them out of a net, like a fine net, and then they take them like by the mouth. They pick them up right behind the gills, and they take them by the mouth, and they stick them to the pot, and they just calmly, I guess, stick there in the humid weather. I don't know. They're not even wet, but they'll do that, and they'll load up like a whole little tray of them, and then they'll like put them in the water and like wash it off and put them in a bigger like tote, and then they take the boat back. Anyways, there's video out there, kind of interesting. Let's see here. All right, let's see here. Cassie is back. Okay, guys, we get it. It's okay. You want to do your little blessing. That's fine, but let's just keep it to well, one, it's not on subject, so let's just keep it a little bit on the DL. Like, it's fine to say a few things though. I like to hear everyone's thoughts, and as long as they're being positive of everybody, I'm cool with it, guys. I think Jesus was a chill dude. I'm all with what Jesus said. Some of the followers may have said some weird things after the fact. It's true with a lot of religions. All right, guys. So Mikey's fish tanks, CJ dentures, dental plan. Anybody want to quote that? Dental plan. Dental plan. So, the Simpsons. What's the name of the blue fish at the beginning of the video with the title? The blue fish. There's a Medaka in the beginning that is turned away, like it's kind of turning backwards. It's got long, flowy. Lisa needs braces. Yep, you got it, Silent Mandible. So somebody mentioned dentures. Yeah, I'm working on it, but I got a lot of medical bills, guys. I got $20,000 out of pocket that I gotta pay. Plus, I got 30,000 like long term I gotta pay. So basically, I've got 50 grand of medical bills that I'll be paying off for the next, I don't know, 8 years or something. So pump your brakes. I'm trying to get teeth, but I have other priorities. I got hit by lightning. 19 of the teeth got shattered. I got crowns. I spent my life savings, which was going to go towards a house, on teeth and on the out of pocket costs, along with my wife's, a lot of her savings, not all of hers, luckily. And that set us behind another 5 years on getting a house from when we did, or 4 years from getting a house, because in America it's 3 grand an implant, and I have 10 implants on the bottom. So, yes. So I definitely went to Florida for those dentures. Like, they were 15 grand in Florida for the whole bottom set of 10, rather than 37 was the lowest quote I got in Seattle for actual individual implants, which when you're only 32 at the time, I wanted to retain my teeth. Now that's been 3 years in the works, and I need to get the top done. But what are you gonna do? So sorry, pet peeve. I like to explain though just how amazing it is when people are like, "Why don't you get some teeth? Work on your teeth and stuff like that." Just wanted to be clear. I am working on it. Like, all my money goes to it. I worked 3 jobs for a while before my health crashed. So yeah, it's a hard thing in the U.S. Now I could get just some fake little dentures that go in. That would be like 3 or 4 grand and would hold me over for a while with the like polydent grip or whatever you call it. But if I want to save the bone structure and what my face looks like, I have to get the implants. Slash, if I want to chew like an apple or anything. So, in anyways, the other thing I was going to tell you guys is how lovely. Nancy's with us and Sketty Nona. What's going on? It's good to see Mikey Fish Tanks and Aquatic Moose and Club. Hello, everybody. Andrew, good to see you. So I was going to tell you guys a little side story, which is I might have told you that. So I just told you guys about my leg and why this live stream may be short. I'm supposed to have this leg up over my head. It's wrapped up and it's wrapped in a normal bandage because they wanted to put me in a hyperbaric chamber with high oxygen for this puncture wound. I may actually be taking legal action, unfortunately, because the puncture wound is an inch across. It's 4.4 centimeters across in all directions. It's a pretty much perfect circle, and it is 1.3 centimeters deep, or like half an inch almost deep, maybe a third of an inch deep in my heel, in the flesh of my heel. And it got infected from surgery. And they told me at the ER for the last well, I was waiting 3 months to get into a specialist department. And they told me at the ER that it wasn't serious enough to be admitted to the hospital. Here's some antibiotics, go home. Then they told me to go to the walk-in clinic and deal with it there through a diabetes care. I don't have diabetes, but they told me that because they said they'll deal with it. I go there and they say go to the ER. So I go back to the ER. They give me the wrong antibiotics. Just like your fish, when they have an internal infection, they should have gram-negative antibiotics generally. Well, I saw the cultures from the infection and I said, hey, shouldn't these be gram-negative antibiotics? And they said, who's the doctor here? Was the email I got back. And I have it on record, obviously. And he said, I think it's best not to question my years in the field based on how you treat your fish. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm not a doctor. Well, I get to the specialist and he shakes his head and he said, no, gram negative. That's what all your bacteria came back as. It's internal. It doesn't have oxygen to it. We need to be getting oxygen to that wound and we need to put you on gram negative. So that was the first major screw up. Then insurance wouldn't, and it took 3 months to get me into the wound clinic. It took 12 weeks because of the wait out here for a wound that's like an open wound that, what, stitches, skin graft, like they could have done something like that initially. But I'll be done with my rant in a minute. I just want folks to realize if you've never gone through this, I wouldn't have known if I'd never gone through it. So insurance, and most insurance plans are apparently this way. If you have an injury that needs to be treated at the wound care, which is a clinic within a hospital, and it's for old people, young people, diabetics, people who have autoimmune diseases like myself, with my lupus, or people who are on chemo meds or any sort of like prednisone, anti-inflammatory meds, that can make it so healing of a wound takes longer. Well, I am, because they won't approve a biologic medication that's $2,700 every 2 weeks, I have to take prednisone, which is a little pill that makes you not feel so hot, makes you kind of like anxious, and causes inflammation to go down a lot. But it has a lot of nasty side effects, can cause liver failure, can cause osteoporosis, a bunch of other stuff. But I'm stuck taking that. Also caused bloating. So when they took me off of it, I lost 70 pounds of water in the hospital in 2 weeks. So to give you an idea of like my body, I have to share it with you guys. I can't walk right now. I can barely walk. I have a walker and I have a scooter for my knee that I had to buy on Amazon. So they wouldn't cover the scooter. They told me that the bandages, they'll only cover an ACE bandage because bandages are disposable and those are covered out of pocket on the insurance plan, even though we're talking about a special compression bandage for deep tissue healing. What they wanted to do is put a reverse pressure bandage on my foot. And basically, you hook up a little plastic seal over your foot, over the wound that, mind you, is this big, uh, and they and deep. It's literally like, here's a prescription bottle. It's literally almost this deep and this big. It's gnarly in the heel of my foot. And it's like that because they let it get infected and nobody was giving me the proper antibiotics for 3 months. Um, and it started out smaller than my pinky. Like, that was the initial puncture wound, was smaller than my pinky. So it's really frustrating to me, and I'm sorry, guys. I just needed to vent to someone. So, if in any case, in our great system with our great medical insurance that I pay $789 a month for from my wife's work, they then don't cover bandages, won't cover anything other than one crutch. They will cover one crutch for me, uh, but they wouldn't cover the little scooter, which is what the doctor said I needed. I need to keep all weight off of it, or a walker that can support my leg more. They won't cover these shoes that I'm supposed to wear, like this goofy shoe that has no heel to keep the weight off the back that they sell. But that's $89, and so they won't cover it. So I said, "Can I buy it out of pocket this last week?" And he said, "Unfortunately, we have a deal with insurance that we won't sell their the that we won't sell medical goods at a rate that they've agreed to in their contract. So even though we see it for that price, they negotiated that to be the price and we can't sell it to you. Sorry. Maybe you can buy one online." Granted, I have United Healthcare, as Drew just mentioned. Luigi. Yeah, I know. I I don't want to say anything too bad, but I mean, I understand it 100%. I have lost my grandmother in a way that was due to United Healthcare basically saying we won't pay for certain treatment, and we lost her about 4 years earlier than we should have. It was, it was something that was inevitable. It was a new treatment that got denied, and that is a tough call. I understand. Anyways, I'm not talking about that. I just want to finish this first person story, which is they want to put a bandage on my foot that would they literally take just a bicycle pump or a little like fish pump, like our fish rooms use, and they would pump the air out of the wound so there's negative pressure. So it's basically a vacuum in the wound so that blood in the body gets pulled out towards that little vacuum that's in the void of the wound. And apparently, this encourages healing a lot. Well, that's $400 and they won't cover it. So they said, tough luck, too bad. You can just use band-aids. And I said, are you going to cover the band-aids now, basically, being a smartass? And they said, oh, that's right. Yeah, no, we don't cover the band-aids. So I had to pay $78 from the hospital to get an ACE bandage and gauze. I could have just wrapped it at home, but I had to buy it at the hospital. Not to mention I had a $60 copay at the thing, and I have to go twice a week right now. All right, sorry guys. I'm really freaking frustrated. I'm at the end of my rope with insurance, and they told me if they can't get the infection out of the bone in my ankle, that I will lose my foot. He said it's premature to worry about that yet, but that the doctor slammed the door and said he's like, I'm just trying to work with your insurance company, and I'm having a very hard time, as I usually do. He's like, don't they understand that if you lose your, and he said, goddamn foot, they're going to have a bigger bill on their hands than paying for antibiotics and a $400 anti or reverse pressure wound seal. And he literally slammed the door and left the room. And we were like, my dad came with me for support and to drive because I can't really drive right now. And we looked at each other and we're like, whoa, like he was upset. So it's just, yeah, I'm just really frustrated, you guys. So the hobby is a very nice break. So let's focus on the hobby. I'm sorry, I took up so much of this episode with the woe is me, but I want someone to understand like how absurd it is, you know. Same with the whole like, oh, they charged me $18 for a cotton ball when I was in the hospital because that is what the insurance had negotiated as a fair price. And then they buy it from a drug company known as Optima and Optum RX, which is owned by United Healthcare. So they buy the supplies that are overpriced that the insurance pays for out of pocket. It's basically like a big money laundering scam. It is so wrong. Okay. All right, guys. So I wanted to talk about fish. So, all right, guys. Timestamp. Alex is crazy. Don't worry. Don't watch until what time are we at? 21 minutes after. I wanted to let you guys know why it's been taking me some time to get out episodes and stuff. It's just been really difficult. And Mama Duck, if you have MS, I am so sorry that you have to deal with them so much. They're paying themselves, but it's a shell company. OptumRx is owned by the same company as United Healthcare. They sell medications and bandages and medical equipment, and they try to give you a 90-day supply, which in theory would be cheaper. Anyways, it's a racket. It's a total racket. It should be illegal. It doesn't make any sense how it is legal. When you look into these things and you are like, how is that so? And yes, I've looked into disability. I qualify. I was told to apply and I qualify, but I want to work. I have my brain still, it still works, and I want to work. I will work as long as I can because I'm sure I will need disability at some point. But no, I've never been on it. I just have spent my entire life savings. I'm lucky that I had a tattoo studio, made $100 an hour for years. And then when I couldn't do that anymore with my lupus and swelling in my hands and stuff and pain in my back, luckily I had saved up a lot of money and it all went to medical in the last 10 years. But luckily it was there. So that's good. I worked all of my 20s for that. So, all right, guys. So let's talk about something a little bit happier, kind of. Let's talk about where our fish come from. 23 minutes and 15 seconds in. Alex finally shuts up about his own problems. So, our fish come from all over South America. A lot of our tetras and pencil fish and noodle fish and Sasquatch fish and guitar fish. There actually is a guitar fish. But those fish come out of largely Peru, parts of Colombia, and sometimes Suriname, sometimes Belize, but largely Peru and a little bit of Colombia. Well, a couple years ago, Brazil opened back up for quite a bit of fish collecting. Have they given out a lot of the permits that they were going to? Not yet, but they will, and they have given some out. Uh, the other cool thing is Colombia is also now a third of the country was out of reach of collectors. Basically, the north and the western parts of the country were under control of the FARC and guerrillas, FARC, and guerrillas that were fighting the main government, narco guerrillas, I guess you'd call them. And it meant that there were a good 6 rivers that could not even be explored. And some of the most beautiful, like earth eaters and some of the interesting intersections of like medium-sized cichlids, like Sevrum type, and like heroes and stuff like that, uh, like waru. They all come from that region too. As do some really interesting catfish. So very cool that they've opened that back up. The peace treaty has held ish. I mean, there's still some hostilities going on, but mostly over the control of the production of the white stuff, if you know what I mean. Uh, you know, this white stuff. So they are open though. So that's great. Those are two places where we can get fish that we couldn't get fish for a long time. Mick M, thank you, buddy. I appreciate your support. I appreciate all your support. Just being here, just hanging out means a lot. Thank you. Um, and the other interesting spot from South America, there's a country named Suriname, and not much comes out of either French Guiana, Suriname, or Guyana, British Guiana as it was once known. Um, it's because there's literally like 1 million people or 2 million people in the whole country, and they all live in like 3 cities on the coast, and like over half live in one city in each of the case. So it's really interesting. They had shut down in Guyana, they had shut down exports of fish as well. They wanted to do more research and understand, well, how many of these fish do we have? Like, where are we getting them? Who's collecting them? What process does that need? And that all comes down to uh, having educated people on the ground, ichthyologists, college students, fishermen, local tribes, people who are in the know of what's out there. And so much of that country is wilderness. There's literally like one dirt road that seasonally isn't even open due to water. That goes from like Venezuela across through that Guianan Shield region in the far north slash eastern part of um, South America, and kind of follows the top of the country down into Brazil. And there's one back road that goes to Manaus and Amazonia. Uh, Places like Iquitos in Peru, you have to fly in. You can't actually get there any other way other than boat going 2,000 kilometers from the mouth of the Amazon River. They can fit barges and cargo ships all the way up. That's how big that river is. But they do, and we get a lot of fish out of Iquitos. That's also where the Amazon, the research project for ornamental fish with Anthony Matrrial and his wife. That's also where that's based for similar reasons, because it's like in the heart of the jungle and you have to fly in, but it's a city of 500,000 people, mostly people that are first generation tribes people that came out of the jungle. Very, very, very interesting. I want to go. It's a dream to go, and if my health allows it ever, I will definitely go someday. But those places have opened up, which is great. Like all of South America is open for the fish hobby now, which is pretty exciting news. Things like the Bard. Oh yeah, and it's Jeff Kane's birthday, everybody. So everybody, happy birthday to Glue. Happy birthday, Jeff Kane. Happy birthday, Jeff Kane. Nappity dappity dippity birthday to Jeff Kane. All right, guys. So yeah. Let's see here. Um, Elaine, doctors tell you don't use peroxide or iodine. I lived in a barn burned down and kept stepping on rusty nails. Used peroxide, iodine, and Epsom salt. Never got a bad infection or anything. Yeah, I mean, you can use iodine will help disinfect if it's proper, correct iodine in its strength, and its organic iodine, a form that's found in shellfish that they use for surgery and things, like surgeon's iodine that's sterile. Also, the other thing that will work for that is isopropyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol, methyl alcohol. Any of those things will work to sterilize and sanitize a cut, but hydrogen peroxide does not. It simply causes a oxygenation or foaming, which does kill some bacteria, some little nasties that are in your cuts, but it also can kill healthy cells. It causes dead cells to bloat and explode basically from the inside out from foaming up. And that's why it bubbles and kind of sizzles, and that's why alcohol stings more so. But the that's definitely a way to do it. Hey, Nano Aquarium guy, good to see you, buddy. And Christian B, what's up? Welcome. Mick M and Fishy Man. All good to see everybody. Ray, good to see you. George, good to see you, buddy. And Ryan, good to see you. Fishcapades. We got lots of great people in here. Maybe we'll go over and check out the new tank in a moment. Now, I did get a gift certificate from my wife for $100 to the local aquarium store, Aquarium Zen, which is our aquascaping store in Seattle. And I want to get more. I have a cat hair in my mouth. I want to get more dwarf baby tears. I started with one tissue culture, and that was a month ago, and they're pretty bad off. There's like a few spots that started, but it's pretty bad off. So I want to get another one or two cups of that, or a pot of it that's actually like alive and ready to use would be even better. The tissue cultures are sterile, so they won't have algae or anything, but they are not the best because they have no roots. Yes, H2O2 or hydrogen peroxide is excellent for spot treating blackbeard algae. Definitely. Glad to see you all, awesome people. Fishies are awesome. They need love too. I agree. I agree. I agree. Um, but what I was gonna say, Elaine, is that I've always had, like, I've never had a problem. I've cut myself bad. I've stepped on rusty nails. I've had, razor blades that were like, ugh, should have tossed them out a long time ago, and I cut my face with them. They got red, they got sore, and they got better. When I stepped on a piece of glass this last summer, like in the end of July, it went in so deep that it hit the bone, and it had staph infection on it. And I just, luck of the draw, got real bad infection from it and didn't even realize it for a couple days until it was in my blood, which happened. It went from not being red or anything, me pulling the glass out, cleaning the wound, just like you probably would have with rubbing alcohol and hydrogen peroxide. Well, hydrogen peroxide first, then the rubbing alcohol, then gauze, then a Band-Aid, and then I didn't even know because it was under the Band-Aid, but later it got red and irritated, and by 6 hours later, I wasn't feeling good. I had about 100-degree fever, and I thought I was getting sick, like from a cold or something. By 6 hours after that, so 12 hours from no symptoms to a red line going up my thigh, and my whole calf swollen bright red, and my fever was 106, and I was in the ambulance delirious. And that is the story of how I almost died over the summer. It is wild. It's nothing to play with. You could be fine 100 times before, and it could just be a bad bacteria that was on something you stepped on. So just always beware. I mean, I was up to date on my tetanus and all that. That didn't matter. None of that was actually applicable, unfortunately. But yeah, and now I'm still dealing with it. And what was that? That was July 22nd is when that all happened. So guys, I want to show you something kind of cool. And then we'll talk about places other than South America that have opened up the fish trade. So in this tank right now, basically all we've got going on is we've got the Equus pencilfish. We've got some little tiny Endler slash guppies. We've got the blonde ones and we've got the Gen 4s, females, and then two or three younger males that basically we're just waiting for them to show and then pulling the males out and putting them in a tank in the other room. And then we've got one diamond tetra that survived the 96-degree water, and one autosynclus, one yellow amano shrimp, and we have a bunch of Bloody Mary shrimp in here that I'm hoping actually that those will populate. And then we've got the golden barbs. But what I wanted to show you guys is that they sell these as at the wet spot as the golden Pythia barb, or the 1, 2, 3, 4 striped barb. And can you guys see the difference? That's super obvious. It's not the genders here. But there's one that is a very nice, lovely honey color, kind of like a bronzy amber, versus the others. And it really doesn't look like the others even. It's got 3 black spots instead of the 4. And then the male the male of a certain species has the orange up into the fin versus the females that don't. So there's actually 3 species of Pythia, and there's Aronticus, Gellus, and then, gosh, sorry guys, let me mute that. I have someone texting live, and I had it on vibrate, but apparently I think it's making noises for you guys. All right, so let me get out. Okay, all right. So we've also got, yeah, I just wanted you guys to be able to see those up close, the differences, because one day I was just sitting and I was like, wait a minute, those fish are all kind of different. And I looked it up online, and in the same river in India, oh my goodness, guys, we have a problem. The cat just jumped from the floor onto my back while I'm leaning over to the aquarium. Hello, kitty. Hello, Sumi. What do you want? Sumi, why did you hop on my back? What's going on? Oh, you want on the aquarium. Right as mom's pulling in the driveway. She's not gonna be happy, little kitty. I'm gonna have to take you and pull you off of the aquarium in a moment. You know what? She does this. This is what she wants. She wants to ruin all my plants. She wants to ruin my... Look at this. And she's balanced on the light. Come on, honey. That's the last of my papyrus plant. Please don't chew it. Ah. Come on, kitty. No, don't get on my back. No, 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 no. Hold on, guys. Kitty, no. You gotta be a good kitty if you're gonna hang out while I live stream. You are being a naughty kitty. Being a naughty kitty. No, don't. Ah! Don't jump onto my back, honey. Alright, guys. She's gonna do it again. I just know it. She's gonna jump again when I'm feeding the fish, because I can't stand up straight with my leg. I've got a slight bend. But she's like literally holding up probably she's probably jumping 4 feet up to get onto my leaned over back. All right, so I'm putting some of this aquarium co-op food in here. This is that stuff that's super powder fine that floats for a long time. It seems everybody seems to like it still. That's my consensus of keeping it for such a long time. You know, all the fish are digging it. You guys probably saw, if you were watching live last time, looks like we need to do some algae cleaning here too. But if you guys were watching live last time, we had some kind of interesting stuff going on in this tank, but now we've got even more interesting new stuff. We've got this staghorn algae, and I've never had staghorn algae in all of my days keeping fish. It just doesn't form here in the Northwest very often. At least in my tanks, it never has. And I get a lot of people in Florida mentioning it, but I'm wondering if the fact that I used limestone. Gosh dang it, guys. Really? The cat is on my back again. Yes, the cat destroys the papyrus and then she barfs on the floor. That's exactly the order and operation of what she does. Come on, no. What she does here. And she's purring so loud because she's so content with what she destroyed. Yeah, and guys, if you haven't joined us on Discord, please feel free to come join us on Discord. I recently posted some cool stuff about all the new Danio hybrids. So the Danios, like the lovely gold ring Danio, the Negro fasciatus, the gosh dang it, guys, are you kidding me? This cat is gonna drive me up a wall. No. Kitty. No, kitty, that's a bad kitty. Is the Discord link not working? She got me good with their claws there. Did she, or is the Discord link not working again? Because I changed it to be a forever link, but I don't think it is, which is really frustrating because I've tried that like 3 different times and I can't find one that actually seems to stay like that. Kitty cat, you are a menace to society. You are such a menace. Hold on, guys. Let me get her down from my shoulder. I don't feel like being a pirate or having a parrot today. You know, you can hang out. You can slink over my shoulders and sleep like a feather boa. You can do one of these. That's okay. That's fine. Or you can sit on one shoulder, but you can't climb up and down my back with claws, even though I've trimmed her claws, but still. Yes, she's a very cute kitty. She's got a little boop on her nose. We love the kitty. Oh, mom's home. That means food. That means your dinner. That means dinner time. Watch this, guys. I know we're a fish channel, but watch the cat run to mom for dinner. Sumi, food, dinner time. You get to eat, you fat little piggy. You get to eat. Food time. Mama has food. Hi, honey. Hi. All right, guys. So my wife is home. She's going to take care of the cat from here out. The cat has jumped on my back 4 times in a row while I'm talking on the live stream. From the ground.
What a good girl.
So, all right, guys. Everybody says hi, Lara. Hi, honey. So, the Samulus longipalooza or longipinus. It's either longipalooza or longipinus, but the Samulus is doing really well. Look at that. It's a big red flower that grows, or a plant that grows from the center outward, like kind of like a rosette. And we got the little zebra auto on it, which the Kokama autosynclus I highly recommend trying to spawn. Apparently they're easier than the traditional autosynclus to spawn. The other thing that we got going on here is this is my Salzmani crossed with Colorado Bacopa. And if you notice, it's purple. It's got a purple hue to it. And this is in CO2, obviously. There we got some of the snowball Amano shrimp from Aquatic Arts. We probably got some blue Amanos in here too. Yep. We got the panda loaches from Moonlight Aquatics, both the old school and the new school. Honestly, they're barely growing. Like they have stayed largely the size as when I got them now, what, 5 weeks ago? What are we at? 6 weeks? But these new panda loaches have proved to have more yellow in their fins as well. And so the term golden panda loach, I suppose, maybe holds true, maybe makes sense. So maybe that will stick around as a term. The other ones kind of have more bronze and copper color in their body that you can kind of translucently see through. See, this one has a little bit of copper or kind of brass showing in the traditional kind. Then we got the yo-yo loach doing its thing, running around. But I just can't get over how cute the frickin' panda loaches are. Now, I don't think anybody in the U.S. other than Moonlight Aquatics has these yet. If they do, let me know, guys. I just haven't seen them anywhere else. But he's selling them for $20, which is a crazy good deal. So the other night, you saw the Harlequin Rasboras lit up for spawning. Tonight, the Kythit Danios are lit up for spawning. And so you will see a green shimmer and an orange shimmer in the coppery brass color on the Kythit Danio. If you look carefully, or if we can get an up close look, they move so much it's very hard. But here we go, kind of green on the top of the fish. The males have like this green color that's kind of like a Statue of Liberty, like that weathered or exposed copper green look. And then the females, like that one there, they have like a very nice pink and then gold on their lower flanks by their belly. But on the group for Discord, I put and shared a link of every Divario and Braco Divario that is able to be crossbred. Scientists did a paper trying to study something that was inheritable and the way that cells and honestly I didn't read the whole paper very well because it was really in depth, but basically it was an inheritability study about how their phenotype works, like what stripes manifest what colors of cells and which types of iridophores versus chromatophores are there. Also, the Cardamine lyrata, this plant still just cruising along, looking great. It's got pink and red and orange and lime green and yellowy green and even a light green with the darker greens and bright greens over here where it's in the shade. This stuff has taken off like a weed. CO2 just makes it grow like I've never dealt with it growing like this. So CO2 is definitely the secret for this one. And low nitrogen, I would guess. Yeah, just going wild. But as we mentioned, this was the Bacopa that I hybridized from home from flower. That's the Salzmani, which is a brighter purple version. But what I wanted to show you is in the other tank that doesn't have CO2, just the big tank that we're kind of sitting here letting nothing happen with. This is in high light, but no CO2, no ferts. And this is the Salzmani right now. And it's a nice purple, but darker purple. Then the Salzmani cross, as we move across, it has pink to it. It has a nice pink color to it. Depending on how much light it gets, this one was tucked under, so you can see lower down. It's got the purpley pink on it. But then the Colorado crossed with the Caroliniana has an orangey pink to it, and that's this little patch right here. Sometimes it has kind of a yellow hue to it when you step back, whereas the other one definitely has like a burgundy to purple on the true Salzmani right there, but then on the half one there. I couldn't tell what was what without having the highlight straight on it and just letting it grow out for a couple weeks because I literally had lost track of what plants were which. So we're like finding new things. Like this is also where we found the kabamba that's mixed, and look how long these leaves are. So this is the Australianensis crossed with the Caroliniana, and this one didn't do anything cool looking other than the leaves. Look at how long they are. They're not super oval, they're super long. They're like a longboard skateboard compared to, say, like these leaves at the top. Even these ones down here, these are more teardrop shaped. They're not like a big oval. And then you got your normal uh, Caroliniana right back in there. So yeah. Anyways, kind of fun. Also, we're seeing the Logonandra meboldi, or the Logonandra carolensius also grow out nice and big. We're seeing the Barclaya longifolia turn a really nice bright purple color. We're also seeing some of the Bulbitis hedulata growing up, and we took a lot of it out, but there's also all sorts of new pieces just growing, hanging out wherever. And lastly, we've got the Kabamba arcuata mixed with the super red Reuben mini Ludwigia. So these give you the feathery thin leaves, but in bright red, which you can get pretty close to that. You can get, it's a little more pink and a little more coppery or bronzy. Here's one of the other kinds. When you get the original arcuata under highlight, it gets very similar. You can see back here there's some. So it's pretty similar. But this just takes the cake for that red and pink. So kind of cool. The hybrid, did you have them flower? Yeah, I had them flower. I have a video on it. I had them flower in this room. And then, just like these are flowering right now, the Hydrocodile verticillata is flowering. Um, and the Bacopa actually was flowering again, but right back here. They also call it water hyssop. Um, but anyways, it has a nice purple flower, some of it. Some of it has a white flower, some of it has a purple flower, some of it has a blue flower. And that's also another thing that changes. Like here we've got some more of the Ludwigia that's immersed that could flower, and another one. So this is the Reuben Ludwigia arcuata cross. So this plant, as crazy as this plant looks like this when it's out of the water. So it is definitely a world of difference when a plant gets emerged and grows up and out of the water sometimes. Sometimes they don't look anything like what you would expect. But yeah, then we've got Pogostemon erectus back here, but it's got a lot of algae on it, so I'm hoping the amanos start working a little better. I said I was going to pull all the moss out of here, but it is growing so fast, even though it does have some algae on some of this top moss, so you can see the stringy filamentous algae. I don't mind filamentous algae. I can deal with that. I can just twirl it up with my finger like chow mein or something, and it's no biggie. So I don't really care. And the amanos eat it, and the nereids eat it, and my malawas eat it, and live bears eat it. So like everybody kind of eats it and gets down on that party. But something is getting down and eating my Logonandra silver powder, which is making me upset because this, we have new growth on it, 2 new leaves, 3 new leaves, and yet we have someone chewing like straight up through it. So I got to figure out who that is. And I have a sneaking suspicion that it's the loach, I think. I don't know. I think the yo-yo loach might be doing it. Then we've got the other fish doing their thing. But the Tinwinny gold ring Danios, they're also looking spectacular. You guys got to see the Discord channel paper that shows you guys like the Chopra Daniel mixed with the CPD, or the Tin Winnie mixed with the CPD, or the Kythit mixed with the Chopra. I mean, there's some really interesting stuff going on there. Really interesting. And as I said before, the dwarf baby tears, even with CO2, you can see how spotty it is. Oftentimes, if you're using one cup to try to start, 2 feet of growth, basically, not a great idea. The Monte Carlo and the Cardamine Lorata, those both took over really well over there, and so did all the Rotala. It's growing fast. This stuff's growing like I would expect it to, a weed. Uh, in that this stuff is the Hygrophila polysperma sunset. Um, there's the blue Amano. Hi, buddy. I haven't seen the red Amano hanging out up front, but look at all these shrimp. The Malua shrimp are hanging out back in the moss, just doing their thing. There's a couple pregnant ones. That's always a good sign. Um, yeah, and I kind of want to. I'm a little torn, but I kind of want to get rid of the Kythit Danios. As much as I love them and I think they're really pretty, I kind of want a slower tank. And since they never stop swimming and they hide a lot, I mean they're just crazy active fish. These guys here, the larger Danios. But these are the true wild Kythit Daniel pattern. They have the dots and not the long stripes. In the hobby, everybody's getting them confused now because the hobby has been mixing the genetics, which is so frustrating when that happens. They're also mixing the genetics of CPDs and the erythromicrons because I don't know why, but it makes a fish that's bigger by 50% than either adult. Um, let's see here. Is it self-cleaning or do you have to? That tank, I mean, I've done a little bit of siphoning of just leaves and stuff that get un what dislodged or need pruning, but usually they're getting dislodged or eaten or dying off because CO2 makes them grow a lot faster. So yeah. Mick M, let's see here, says Alex, Fish Street. Darren, Ward was asking, why are plants dying? I have a 7,000K light on plants. That should be okay. I mean, ideally they would enjoy a 5,000 to 7,000. Like that's the range that they would enjoy more. 6,000's more kind of on the money of a blue sky day, but I mean, you're just more in the flowering range as they call it. A little warmer, I believe. Uh, there shouldn't be any reason your plants are dying unless it's just not bright enough. I don't know how many lumens or par your light is. Um, don't tell me watts or volts. None of that matters really. But if you do happen to know it's 2,000 lumens or 3,000 lumens, that would help. And then also the kinds of plants. But the other thing I would check is your pH. Is your water's pH somewhere between 6.5 and 7.5? If so, just about all plants will be chill, will be happy in there. But they won't be um, higher than that. Some plants start to have trouble. Lower than that, most all plants eventually have trouble. Just bought some regular zebra danios, but half had long pectoral fins from mixing with the longfin breed. Oh, yeah, yeah, definitely. They're trying to give the longfin breed to, or the longfin gene to CPDs, and I've seen that work, but it's not inheritable so far. Like, they haven't got it to stick. It's just like they make the cross with the leopard Danio, Rario, or Frankia. Technically, Divario frankii is the leopard danio, but there's so many zebra danios that have been bred into danios with spots that now we call those leopard danios also. We just call it a variety of zebra danio. We call it the leopard zebra danio. How convoluted can you get, right, guys? But anyways, yeah, kind of wild. Oh, Mick, thank you so much for helping relay these questions, buddy. So the question he said that was asked is, Alex, what is the difference between, or Cody asks, what is the difference between iridophores and chromatophores? All right, so iridophores are really special. Iridophores, imagine them as a snow globe. They are like a little container, like a little shot glass that is airtight, watertight, and they have a certain chemical liquid mix in them. And a crystal structure gets built within this little thing. And then these cover the fins of fish. And they are just like Dark Side of the Moon's album cover, where the light comes in white and it comes out a rainbow. Well, those crystals in iridophores are so specialized that they actually can come out any color. Now, the most simple form of iridophore and the oldest, like evolutionarily speaking, just causes it to look kind of like if you ever looked at an old CD in the sunlight, that kind of generic, like a Congo Tetra has that look. It is your generic silvery colored fish. That is what causes the shimmer and the silver in fish, visually speaking. Whereas, and it's also what causes metallic looking fish, right? But I'm trying to find a good example of it here in the fish room. Yeah, so you see, let's see if we can get it to show. So you see those green markings on this fish? Let's see if I can get better light on them. These green markings, or that tail marking on that other fish. Come on, come back. Where are you guys going? Come on. Am I that scary? Am I that scary to you guys? Come on. Okay, here we go. Oh, gosh, why are they so scared today? Maybe we can get the cichlid to share a journey. So the idea is that the shimmery metallic color, and on these barbs, these snakeskin barbs, or actually they're six-banded Asian barbs, they have a lovely green and blue, like emerald shimmer to them. And it's a really cool look that only shows up when the light hits them just right. In fact, I guess I can show you over in this tank. These guys have it too. And if we get the light just right, you'll see the blue is a blue iridophore on the neon. And there's also iridophores around the face, blue iridophores on these guys, on the apistos. Now, on the neon blue pseudomagills, they've got blue iridophores on their back. So only from a certain angle in just the right lighting do you see that. And that's because it's a little prism inside their cells on their scales. Now, when you see color like that red or the yellow or the orange, that means that within the cell, underneath the skin, just like a tattoo almost, there's a packet of a substance that reflects only that color light back to you. All the other colors, so all the other colors of the rainbow get scattered. And that's how we see light in general, is through that methodology. Now, when you see blue on fish in the wild, there is only one known substance that actually causes blue animals, whether that's a parrot's feather or whatever. And what's interesting is that when you see blue, like on these gobies, for instance, these peacock gudgeons, That's iridophores. See, it actually comes with whatever angle you're looking at. It's not real. It's not a real pigment. Same with here, we got blue on the midsection, but it might as well be gray from when you see it just from this side. But then, all of a sudden, look at by the ear, that's metallic blue. By the body, we get metallic red and blue. That's all just iridophores, just like the silver is too. And it's just that that iridophore has evolved to only show that color. Same with on these bettas. But the red in the tail, however, and the orange in this tail are truly pigments. So they're truly there. And in fish, only anthocyanins, which are what are in blueberries. It's what's in a scarlet, or rather a wait, is that what it? Sorry, guys, I'm trying to remember the name of the macaw that's bright blue. The turquoise macaw. I can't remember what they're called for sure. But in the macaw, the parrot that has the blue feathers, they have the anthocyanins as well as iridophores too. And it's very unusual. There's a poison dart frog that actually creates a chemical reaction with light. And there's a pretty cool video that came out fairly recently about all this. I'll try to link it in the Discord for you guys under the free Discord section. And here we've got one of my favorite Danios. These are the Divario negrofasciatus. If we look at them, they've got a navy blue marking on them. If they ever come back around. Where are you guys? They're all so fast. Danios are so fast. But they have a nice navy blue marking with a copper and a gold marking. And they're just a cool fish. Let's come back. Come back, little fishies. Come back, little fishies. There's a white cloud minnow. So yeah, the chromatophores are essentially cells just like we have in our skin for pigment, and any black in our body is dark melanin. And just like that, in fish, any dark colors, so like from light to dark, melanin coats that. Or gives it a hue. And so that's what can cause the darker colors in fish. So like this fish up here has more melanin. And it also has iridophores though, up on top. But it is not a truly blue fish. Same with these little tiny, in the filterless, they're going strong still, guys. The filterless, we've got in here, we've got jade shrimp, and we've got all these little, I think they've bred pretty well in just a 2.5 gallon actually. But we've got all these little exclamation point rasboras. I put 6 in there initially, and I can count at least 7 right now, 8 right now. Green shrimp. Yeah, the green shrimp are in here. They just are really hard to see. I just dropped the little wand, well, turkey baster I had that I'd show you. But yeah, they're a dark green. They're good emerald. They're called emerald blue green shrimp. I know that's a convoluted name yet again. Guys, I think it's time to get rid of the Liberty Mollies. I'm just kind of over them. They hide from me. They've had their babies. The babies are doing well. I've proved that they're doing well. They were kind of interesting behaviorally at first, but now, like, the whole fact that we have 12 to 15 females and only one male that colors up, like, substantially, and the other males are submissive, I don't love that. It makes for a lot of silver fish that are all shy, and only the one male comes out. And he's okay looking. Here he comes. Right here. This is the male. This is the big money payoff shot. Oh, nope, he ran away. So yeah, this is why I'm thinking I might keep different fish in here. I want to keep pictoguppies or something. Swamp guppies. I should be covering live bears as well as glass catfish in my next installment of fish you should keep in 2025, as well as hillstream loaches, Corydoras catfish, autocinkless farowellas, and a couple shrimp and snails. But I could do a whole separate shrimp and snail thing, I suppose. Also, thank you so much, Gloria, for the $20 for the Kitties College Fund. She will greatly appreciate that. Oh, guys, I have something special for you if we can catch it on film. Bob the betta, the giant betta, has gotten pretty large. So remember the size of that leaf. Bob is about as long as the leaf is tall. But watch, when we get close to Bob, I'm really zoomed in. Hold on. When we get close to Bob, I bet he'll run away. Bob, you're looking beautiful with your blue iridophores. So, only by eating foods like blueberries with anthocyanins could Bob actually get blue pigment. So, this is actually that metallic iridophore blue, and you can tell that from above. Look at that, it turns like a softish, greenish, bluish gray. Whereas down here at this angle, you get that royal, like real blue. Bob used to come to my hand every time I put my finger in the tank. Ever since the scary 96-degree heat trauma incident, he has been very, very afraid of my hands. And for that matter, very, very afraid of the entire aquarium, anybody messing with the aquarium. So I'm going to give him some spirulina just to see if he'll eat that. For some reason, he seems to like these spirulina flakes more than like scuds or more than bloodworms or anything. He just, yeah, he likes those. So I've been giving him those. Also, over here, so important when you have fish like these little. I mean, everyone will eat spirulina because it tastes delicious, apparently, to fish. But it's really important that you feed when you got loaches, that you feed something, or autocinklus, that you feed something that is appropriate for their digestive tract. Now, also, yes, the rainbow fish in here, the little rasboras and the danios, clearly they've made short work of that as well. But you want to make sure some of that, cyanobacteria, algae, basically makes it down to them. They'll get some biofilm and other things as they comb through the water, like right here, as this little guy, this golden panda loach, is combing the substrate. They kind of do that all day, and here comes the bigger loach, the yo-yo loach, who I think probably put the holes there. Probably while he was eating the algae off of it. He probably just ripped it. He's probably the only one strong enough to do so. Looks like a little mole with his onodontode feelers on his mouth and how tight they are and how tiny his little mouth is. Again, the kythid danios, their eyes are even like a orangish pink on the males right now. They're really colored up, wanting to spawn. I might see them drop eggs tonight, which would be fun. I'll try to get that on film for you guys if I see it later. They're definitely doing the weaving dance too, where the males kind of hopscotch in front of the females. It's a very interesting process to watch if you're a nerd. Brush it off. G'day. 51 months of support. Holy smokes, buddy. Appreciate that so much, man. I don't know what to say other than thank you. I mean, you've been there a long time, supporting the channel in a lot of ways. Well, guys, Corydoras are being bred badly. I had several die over Christmas holiday, and one after the other. I know it's true. Same with CPDs. I showed what the CPDs at Petco and then at another unnamed business, kind of in between, like middle level of care, that I don't say that in the video, but you can see the difference between good quality CPDs fed a good diet and raised right versus the ones that come in for 350 or 450 at PetSmart or Petco. They look awful, 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 awful. Oh no, most bettas like scuds a lot. They may not chase after them as emphatically like some as others, but no, they're definitely very popular. So, guys, my foot is kind of killing me. It's really starting to hurt, and you know I whined for 20 whole minutes at the beginning of the show. Do I still have Gulf Coast pygmy sunfish? Yeah, I do. They're just in a little 2.5 gallon. They're in with those baby uh yo no, that's not what they're called. Kohaku blacktail, swordtail fish that are just not growing. I don't know if they have, if they're stunted or if they're just slow growers, but they have not grown. There may be 3/4 of an inch, maybe a centimeter, centimeter and a half, um, long, which is very weird considering now they're 4 months old. You know, you'd think they'd be getting bigger. And they've been getting live food, but I think a lot of the sunfish, the baby little tiny sunfish, are grabbing anything live that goes in there. Um, but yeah. So guys, yeah, I'm gonna take care of myself. I appreciate all of you so much. I hope you guys, if you haven't watched it, I hope you will watch that episode of the new fish in 2025. That one took a really long time to edit because I had to ask permission. And what's really tricky is you try to find out who owns a photo. And you say, hey, do you own the rights to this photo? Did you take this photo? And people will tell you yes, and then it will be marked as Creative Commons for Google search when you look for free to use or how is it licensed. You can select that. But then a lot of times they just screenshotted it from someone else and they don't really care and they didn't want to admit that they stole it. So then you use it and they cut the name off, and so you have no idea you're using stolen stuff. So it's best to try to get a hold of the actual creators when you can. And so I try my best to do that. Oh, no, Jeff, it's your birthday, buddy. Don't give me things. Don't give the community. You're giving everybody else presents on your freaking birthday, buddy. That is far too kind. And guys, you know, another thing I wanted to say, speaking of thinking of other people and I mean this way of being. Thank you guys. You guys are the most generous, kind community. You guys help each other out with when you have questions. You know, you guys are all learning stuff. I'm learning stuff, and we're all just sharing it, and it makes me proud of what we have here and happy. And makes me happy that we didn't grow like on a TikTok pace of like, oh, we got a one viral video and now we've got, you know, 100,000 or 1 million subscribers and nobody knows anybody. It's like there's probably a good 3 to 4,000, 5,000 of us that know each other somewhat, even like first names and stuff basis, and we can all interact and share info and let each other know, oh dude, there's a sale here, oh we got this going on, and that means so much to me. So yeah, Asya, good to see you, and Jeff, again, happy birthday, my friend. I hope you have a great one. You were far too kind, giving away gift memberships. Folks, if you got a gift membership, go use it in the playlist section of this channel and listen to the podcast approved playlist, which means that it's all stuff that you don't need to put your eyes on in order to enjoy and learn from. You can do that just fine without it. So I think Bentley Pasco is still planning on streaming, if not already streaming. And Sketty says, learned how to be kind community and to share here. Oh, this is your first fish channel, Sketty? Well, that makes me so happy because you are totally part of the community, totally one with one of us, one of us. All right, you guys, take care. Oh, no, Mick, I trust you so much, buddy. I know it was all for the better good. Thank you, buddy. Don't if you thought they could have been abusive or taken wrong, then it didn't needed to be said. So thank you. Philip, hello and goodbye. All right, you guys. So I'm gonna get out of here. Real life D&D. Take care. Um, I will definite. Oh, and Sketty agrees. So we're good. Thank you so much. You don't need to do that. Never feel obligated, mods. You just have the power because you're good people. That's all. You don't have any required or obligatory pressure. Please don't feel that way ever. All right, you guys, have a good one. Sorry for the rant at the beginning, but yeah, don't forget to like the stream on the way out, and don't forget to check the channel and see what content you've missed because YouTube's been real bad at updating like 80% of the viewers, but it's getting better apparently. There's like instead of 90%, we're at like 80%. So get on that, and we'll have a big old party. So hopefully soon we will be talking all about Panama and how the Panama Canal has literally now been expanded, widened, and the lake that is a basically rest point or turnaround pit stop. It's kind of like one of those truck changing or truck stopping lanes on the side of the highway. If a big tanker needs to pull off to the side so one can pass, or if it needs to turn around, or if it's sinking or whatever, they can pull into this big lake. And it's become brackish, which was never the plan. And now fish are making it from the Pacific Ocean all the way to the Atlantic Ocean and vice versa for the first time again in, I believe, 16 million years of Earth's geological history. What could go wrong? Lionfish in the Pacific and the Atlantic. Sounds like a good plan, right, guys? So, again, thank you. And Jeff, thank you for gifting all those chats. Carol, thank you so much for the super chat. And everybody else, just thank you for being here, for being you. You guys rock. And I literally cannot do this full time without the members, without the super chats, the super thanks, without the sharing, and just the minutes watched at the end of the day. So thank you guys. I'm going to see you guys later, and I hope you have a wonderful night. I'm going to get off my foot here and stop talking. Oh, when the moon hits your eye like a big paku pie, that's amore. When its teeth look so huge.